So this is a TikToker named Malaine, and a couple of weeks ago she posted this really long TikTok series where she detailed a story about how her husband and her daughter eloped and ruined her life. Predictably, it went crazy viral, not just because of the title, but because of the story. It's so much crazier than the title even suggests. It's almost too insane to be true, and there are people in Malaine's life who think that.
She's full of shit. I know her daughter. I know her daughter. Her daughter's in a relationship. She did not do nothing to that lady.
There's several people on both sides who chime in on who's right and who's wrong here. But the question is, who's bringing the most receipts and who's bringing the most... Now, this story is very long. 4-part series that's just almost an hour long. It would take forever. So I'm going to do what I normally do here, which is condense it and give you all of the very necessary details. It's summer 2024. Malaine and her husband are living in Idaho. They've been together 10 years. They've had a great life. They just bought their dream home. Everything's good by all external measures. Then one night, Malaine and her husband are lying in bed, and her husband turns over and says, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something. I am struggling with finances. Things are falling apart, and I'm really worried that I'm going to hurt myself." Malaine is blindsided by all of this. He pays all of the bills, and she pays for the groceries and stuff like that through her expenses, and they have separate bank accounts. She has no idea what's going on financially on his end. And then he says this.
He tells me that we're in debt, and he's maxed out all of our credit cards, and he's maxed out our home equity line of credit, which was $50,000.
Hold on. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? No, the video's going. I gotta poop. What am I supposed to hold it the whole video or something? Or? Yes, we're rolling. She is immediately terrified, not just because of the financial situation, but also her husband's declining mental health. She was more worried about that. So she starts stressing too, has no idea what to do. But a few weeks later, a solution came. Her 28-year-old daughter, who lives in Virginia, just inherited this really huge house from her dad, who just passed away. And this house was going to be featured on the TV show Magnolia Network for like a renovation special. And she needed help painting. So she told her mother to fly to Virginia and help her paint. She flies to Virginia for a couple of weeks, and then the daughter offers her husband a job at her construction company where she works for a really good amount of money. It would help them pay off their debts. When she flew back, she talked to her husband about it. He was like, I don't know about that. And she's like, come on, please. And he was like, all right, you talked me into it. So he flew all the way there, did an interview, and he got the job. And you know how in horror movies, when the character walks down into the basement alone, and you're like, oh dear sweet Christ, please don't. This is that part. Oh dear sweet Christ, please don't. Please. So they do it. The husband flies all the way to Virginia to start work. Malaine stays back a couple of weeks to tie up loose ends with the house. A couple of weeks later, she and the dog and a U-Haul drive all across country in 4 days to get to Virginia. And she is exhausted when she gets there. She's expecting hospitality when she gets there from her husband and from her daughter. She's expecting warmth and affection and relief that she made it. And instead, this happened.
They acted like they weren't even happy that I was there. So I argued with my daughter for 3 days about unpacking my stuff. And she's like, you need to paint that room before you can move in. I want this room painted and cleaned up before you move in your stuff.
Okay. I admire your warm Southern hostility, idiots.
Right out of the gate, things are weird. I'm being given the silent treatment. I can tell there's like this hostility from my daughter towards me. The few times that she would talk to me, it would always be to complain either about something I was doing in the house, cleaning the floors wrong, using the wrong cleaning products, or something her boyfriend was doing.
The reason that the daughter is so agitated is because she's seemingly stressed, because she wants to leave her boyfriend, but she can't because she's financially tied to him. So she stays. She's also upset that Malaine has moved in with them, even though she's the one who invited them. But that's what's going on. But the person that she's really enjoying spending time with is Malaine's husband. They are constantly texting each other. They're going to lunches together. They have this weird buddy-buddy energy where they have these inside jokes that Malaine can't be a part of. It's a whole thing. Malaine is very unsettled by it, but she's even more unsettled by this.
I found out about this after the fact, that both of them had been smearing my name to my family, to my father, to my brothers, to my best friend, people around town, just telling them that I was lazy, that I refused to get a job, that I maxed out all of his credit cards and I got him in all this financial debt and I'm addicted to drugs and all of this shit. The two of them were doing unbeknownst to me for months before I found out about it.
So Malaine gives her husband an ultimatum. Stop talking to my daughter like this, or I'm filing for divorce. And he said no, and then he tattled to the daughter, and then Malaine still didn't leave. A couple of weeks later, the husband and the daughter went on a work trip to Vegas with the whole construction company. When they came back, the daughter would not speak to Malaine. She just brushed right past her, wouldn't talk to her. Malaine had no idea what was going on yet. A couple of weeks later, the husband gets new insurance from his job. He didn't have any prescriptions, nothing's wrong, everything's all good. Then a couple of days later, Malaine gets a phone call saying that your prescription is ready. And she was like, that's weird. I didn't order a prescription. So she asked her husband about it. He denied it. She grilled him on it. She's like, clearly you did have a prescription. Like, what's going on?
It turns out he called in a little blue pill prescription. And I said, why did he do that? Because we hadn't been having sex for like 6 months because we were living in my daughter's house. And he goes, oh, well, I mean, I did ask for it. I got it to make me feel better. I said, to make you feel better with who? Because you're not sleeping with me.
It's time for you to say Viagra, my sibling and lord.
There's something very clearly going on between them, but she still stays because she's financially tied to him and she's all the way across the country without her support system. So there's really no opportunity for her to leave right now. So March comes around. She flies back to Idaho with her husband to finish off the closing of their house. They have this streak of intimacy while they're there. They fly back to Virginia and they start house shopping together. And for a minute, she really thinks that this trip somehow saved their marriage. And then a couple of days later, 6 a.m, she rolls over to the other side of the bed. Her husband's already awake. And he looked at her and said, hey, do you remember we used to cuddle on that couch when we first started dating? I really wish we could get back to that. And then weirdly, she says this.
And I said, yeah, well, you know, we can't. We're older. It's been almost 10 years since that.
Which is an odd comment to make. I mean, clearly you can cuddle with anybody, no matter what age it is. If he can put his oar in your canoe, I'm sure you can cuddle. Maybe she just meant something along the lines of, well, I'm not ready for affection just yet. I'm considering everything that has happened, but she didn't know how to say it, so it came out weird. And then this happened.
And he goes, I talked to a lawyer. And I said, about what? And he said, a divorce.
What, it's 6 a.m? Farm animals aren't even up yet.
And I said, did you tell my daughter that you saw a lawyer? And he said, yes.
So apparently Malaine's daughter found out weeks ago that the husband was considering filing for this divorce. And now she has to drive all the way back to Virginia with him, which is weird. Then on the drive there, he tells her that he found a small apartment that's about a block away from her daughter's house, and they're going to be moving in there when they get back. And that's when she has a nervous breakdown in Nebraska at a gas station in the parking lot. And the husband does not get out of the car. He just sits there on his phone, doesn't console her, nothing. They get back to Virginia. The daughter is at a friend's graduation in Louisiana, so she's not there yet. But as Malaine and her husband are moving boxes, the daughter comes back home.
She goes, you're not coming in my house. You're not welcome in my house. So basically, she held all my things hostage and locked me out. And the last thing I said to her was, you'll regret this.
Basically, she won't allow her mom to get her things, like her photos, her business stuff, personal items, rest of her clothes. She has to use her husband to get the stuff. Only the husband is allowed in the house. At this point, you're probably thinking, are we missing something here? Like, why is she so hostile towards her own mother when all the mother has done so far is just set firm boundaries, call them out on things like, hey, maybe don't, talk about me around town? Well, there most certainly is something missing, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let me finish Malaine's side of the story.
Hey, can we please have a bathroom break?
No.
Dude, this poop is coming out. I'm literally turtling right now. I cannot clench for much longer.
So they move into this apartment to try and figure things out, but it is disgusting. There's cockroaches all over the place. They're fighting. It just doesn't work out. So Malaine is like, okay, let's do the divorce. So they split $155,000 each from the sale of their house in Idaho. Malaine packs her bags, gets in a car, drives all the way across country again to Oregon to a wellness retreat for 9 weeks, and she cuts off all contact with her husband and her daughter. Doesn't talk to him. When she's done, she decides to drive back to Virginia. She's feeling refreshed. She got some peace of mind at this retreat. She's feeling good. She's feeling good enough to finally close the chapter of her life. So she gets to Idaho to clear out the storage unit, except she doesn't just clear it out like normal. She basically turns it into a rage room where she starts destroying all of the stuff in there, many of the things belonging to her husband. And then she posts it on TikTok. A few hours after the video goes live, Malaine hears a knock on her camper door. She goes to the door, and there is a sheriff standing there. And she's like, hi? And he's like, hi, your husband called and he wants to have you arrested for destroying his things. And I told him that this is a civil matter, so you will not be arrested or charged, but I just wanted to come over here and see if you're okay. And then Malaine makes this video about the arrest.
Guess who called the police? Oh, they're coming for me. They're coming for me.
Oh, are you sure this wasn't an unwellness retreat? Okay.
I hope they do come to my campground, because you know what? All I did was return his property back to him, to the rightful owner. I left it in your camper, just like, you know, a good wife would do. Sorry that it got broken.
The next day, she's in the camper. Again, she hears another knock at the door. This time, there are 2 sheriffs standing there, and their tone has completely changed. Now they say, you have to come with us because your husband says you are a danger to yourself and others around you, and you need to be committed, and we're taking you with us right now, and if you don't comply, you will be arrested. So they had her committed.
I love your laugh, Malaine. Reminds me of the woods and cauldrons and sacrificing children.
Okay, now this is the part of the video where I'm wearing a different shirt for some reason, and I tell you about our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Raycon. The stories and topics that I typically cover on this channel often make my nervous system go and that's when I reach for my Raycon Everyday Clip earbuds and I go for a walk. But I use them for many occasions, really. Working from home, out and about running errands, blaring music when I'm on my deck and trying to ignore the insanely loud construction noises. I pick them over my other earbuds because the clip design is super lightweight, it's comfortable, they stay in place without putting pressure on my ears. I can still hear what's going on around me without sacrificing sound quality, so they've really just become a part of my daily routine at this point. And the little clip is aerospace grade memory metal, which sounds very fancy. It's gentle, it's secure, it doesn't pinch you, and it doesn't fight your glasses. And there's over 30 hours of battery in the case, so I really only charge mine maybe, I don't know, once a week. The Everyday Clip earbuds are the perfect addition to your everyday routine. Go to buyraycon.com/pointerclip to get 15% off. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring. Multiple people in Malaine's life have since spoken up about this story, and there is a lot of chatter around it that paints a very, very different picture than the one that I have just painted for you. One of the first people to speak up was Malaine's own daughter. She posted this video with this caption, "My husband left me for my daughter. Girl, ain't nobody want your man." This TikTok that she posted is basically just B-roll footage with her boyfriend, seemingly as proof that she wasn't having an affair. And then she DM'd this message to one of her mother's online supporters. "Hi, I thought you should know, since you seem to believe it, that I never slept with my mother, Malaine's disgusting ex-husband. I invited both of them to live with me and my boyfriend of 5 years. Notice she never actually makes that claim. She just says he left her for me, keeps it intentionally vague for rage bait." And a lot of people in the comments didn't think that was the strongest of rebuttals, because it doesn't, just because you have a boyfriend and you just say nuh-uh, that doesn't automatically mean that you didn't have an affair. I think people just wanted a little bit more. But then Malaine's own close friends started chiming in with these messages. "I've been really sad to see someone I've considered my sister since we were 15 spiral. It's been so disturbing, and I know for a fact that there was no emotional or physical affair, and it doesn't sit well with me on all the people she is deceiving. She is making a fool out of the TikTok people that don't know the truth, sticking up for her. It's hard to watch. I've been the most constant person in her life, so I can assure you it's not true. I've only seen her daughter as a child once, an adult once, because she didn't raise her, so I'm not biased, I'm just heartbroken. When she catches wind of me finally standing up for her daughter, she will bash me too and go after me. That's just what she does. So I have nothing to gain. I'm just trying to help people see the truth. I've been quiet, but a year is enough. I believe in doing the right thing. Her daughter has the right to stick up for herself, and if you were a target of lies for a full year, wouldn't you finally clap back? Her mom talks about harassment on the internet, and she is the one doing it. Her motive is followers and money. She told me herself. And then she also replied to somebody else in the comments, I personally know everyone involved, although I've only been around her daughter twice. Once as a child, the last time a few years ago. It has broken my heart watching everything unfold. I pray she gets the help she desperately needs. She has lied about mostly everything, and she is very convincing. Now, that friend has not been confirmed to be an actual friend. We don't know with 100% certainty that that is an actual person. It could be a bot. It could be a burner account. Who knows? This next one is a confirmed friend. Weirdly enough, Malaine herself is the one who confirmed it in a pretty weird way. First, let me read the comment. I've known Malaine for 10 years. She was one of my best friends. She's lying for likes, views, and shares. Her stories are completely fabricated and untrue. Her daughter never stole her husband. This is Malaine and I on my wedding day. And then Malaine posted this video, which I don't feel like helps her case at all.
Okay, well, one more weird thing out of you, and I'm hopping on my scoot, okay?
Now, this is just a thought here. This is just a thought. If Malaine is making this whole thing up, this right here is textbook narcissism. The whole after everything I've done for you kind of bit is just classic narcissism to the highest degree. And I'm not saying she is one. I'm not. I'm just saying at this point in the timeline, it makes you stop and think, doesn't it? But anyway, one of the daughter's friends chimed in.
TikTok drama is not fucking funny when you know the people actually involved, and I wish that y'all would realize that. That shit of that lady posting like, oh, me healing after my husband left me for my daughter, she's full of shit. I know her daughter. I know her daughter. Her daughter's in a relationship. She did not do nothing to that fucking lady. That lady's some type of narcissist, and she's getting up here slandering somebody I know's name for shits and giggles. Then the daughter messaged someone trying to defend herself, which is why I be telling people, you ain't always got to defend yourself. And it's like, hey, I actually didn't do any of this, and I don't know why my mother, the person who fucking birthed me, is on a smear campaign. I can only believe it's for, I don't fucking know, likes and views. That's what I'm saying, that part. But she messages someone, and that person's like, no, I believe her, and sent the screenshot to her mom. Her mom posts the fucking screenshot, and it's like, oh, you seem guilty because you're defending yourself.
Apparently, this whole situation has been going on for a whole year, so there's been a lot of pent-up things that people are holding back. So this person made a several-part series about it, and one of them, she brought some receipts.
She's your friend, so of course you're biased to believe her. Okay, that's true. That's fair. However, what we have here is not that type of situation. Let's say I was not friends with the daughter falsely accused by her narcissist mom that she's sleeping with her husband, right? Let's say that's not the case. If I was someone who had been following this story for the past year, not people who are saying that they've watched the most recent 5-part series. I get why you're confused, but you're confused because what she's saying doesn't make any sense. What has been happening is this woman has been coming up here for a year, defaming her daughter and her ex-husband, and nobody has said shit.
My blood pressure spiking. It's very, very frightening. Oh.
The daughter reached out to me, my friend reached out to me, and basically said, I'm losing it with this. I cannot keep going through this. And I said, you know what? I'm going to say something. However, again, this woman has led people, including her own followers, to believe that her ex-husband left her for her daughter, that they were in a relationship. She has admitted this herself in her comments up until this point. The version of the story she is telling now is because people started saying, I would sue you for defamation.
It's also very much worth noting that the daughter's dad was the primary caregiver of the daughter all while she was growing up. The daughter did not have a relationship with her mom, really. The mom wasn't really around much. So that kind of explains why Malaine's friend said she's only seen the daughter twice. And then folks went into investigation mode, and they found the husband's Reddit account and found that he had been posting about this situation a few days before these videos even went live. Advice needing regarding wife's continuous divorce threats. I'm a 56-year-old man married to my 51-year-old wife of 8 years. This is a second marriage for both of us. I was married for 25 years previously, and she was married for 10. Her first divorce was awful, and her ex took full custody of her kids and wrecked her. Her second relationship was abusive. We had 4 good years, and she wanted to do her own business. I'm the sole financial provider since we met. I'm very easygoing until I'm not. I work 10 hours a day at a demanding job. She said in the beginning, once she gets the business going, she could take over financially and give me a break. She's never contributed to the household expenses. I have contributed and invested in her business. Her business account is in my name. I feel that because she has never been able to make her business work, that she feels bad for herself and has resentment of me. I love her, and I have told her many times it's okay that she is struggling. I feel it's just an expensive hobby at this point, and it's okay with me as long as we stay within our means. She has really withdrawn in the last year and smokes weed every hour. The money she pays basically pays for her weed that I won't buy. Her family keeps her at arm's length, and her children only have recently began talking to her. In September, she asked if we could move across the country to be closer to her children, and I agreed because I want her to have the opportunity to rebuild that relationship. I found a job and came out first while she readied the house for sale. I get along with her kids great. Her daughter introduces me to friends as stepdad. Since she has come, her relationship with the kids has not been good. They see her treating me poorly and being very selfish. They are not fans of the extreme weed smoking. If any uncomfortable situation comes about, she feels she is the victim and her solution is to fight dirty and run away. I see this as a trauma response and try to diffuse. Her latest issue with me, and I'm not kidding, is that I forget to put down the toilet seat sometimes, and I do it on purpose to test her. She's always given me a hard time about me working. I have asked for counseling as a couple and for her trauma, but she says if I think so little of that, I leave the toilet seat up, she won't go to counseling. I feel this is my fault because we did not set good household boundaries in the beginning and it contributed to her selfishness. I do think this can be fixed with therapy, but received another threat today. In the last year, I have asked her to contribute $1,000 a month to the household bills. Her response was, how much can she pay to not have sex with me? I still love her and really love her grown kids like my own. I'm not sure what to do and will take advice.
I am more overwhelmed than a napkin at a crawfish boil.
Yeah, the part of his story where he basically says that they see me as their dad, pretty much, about the daughter and Malaine's kids. I don't know about that part because Malaine's daughter literally called him disgusting in that DM. So his story is also, I don't know if that's credible, but that's what he said. And there's a lot of more out there. Malaine! The overall narrative is that Malaine is bitter, she's angry, and, not getting along with her daughter, and then she's taking it out on her and using the situation for likes and views to get her businesses going. And I'm not going to sit here and say that that's 100% what's going on. I don't know. I'm not in these folks' lives. And there could be other things that haven't come out yet that we don't know. But there's 3 things that I have a problem with Malaine's part. Number 1, when she told the story about how the husband was like, remember when we used to cuddle on the couch? And then she was like, we can't do that anymore, we're old. What? I mean, that feels weird. And then the part where she described her husband like rekindling their relationship briefly and engaging in passionate lovemaking, apparently, all for the next morning for him at 6 a.m. to just, as she's rolling out of bed or whatever, to be like, I'm thinking about divorce. That feels odd. Both of these details don't sound like they were part of actual conversations. And then the third thing is she objectively admitted to the fact that she have been misleading people into thinking that her daughter and her husband were in an actual relationship when, in fact, they have never been in one. And she confirmed that. This comment was on the daughter's friend's video. This first comment is from somebody else. The thing is, a lot of your TikToks lead to the belief that they were or are a couple, but that's not what happened because you explained it before. She very much has a right to clear the air on that. This is a very sad situation all around. And then Malaine replied, you're 100% right about that, but unfortunately, this is a game that she started and I'm going to finish it. So right there, just admitting that she is willing to bend the truth and lie to her advantage because her daughter is apparently playing a game where she's like, well, I can play too, and I'm going to lie about all kinds of things if I want to. And I do know Malaine has people in her corner over this. There could be something more to all of this, but right now, I don't feel good about being on Team Malaine. It feels icky. It's sticky. Also, what I do know is Peacock and MGM Plus and Discovery Plus and Plus are, going to be calling about this story. And I hope they do, because I hope a team that's smarter than me gets a hold of this and, kind of gets to the truth. Let me know what you guys think. I am genuinely curious to know what you guys' theories are. This could also be a situation where everyone's crummy. Like everyone's doing something dark and twisted and gross and just red flags everywhere. It could be that. But yeah, this is not the only TikTok story that has been going mega viral lately. A creator is currently planning to move across the entire country to be closer to his parasocial relationship. And the whole story is, it's insane. It's insane. Please click the box in the top left-hand corner and I'll see you over there. That is my time. Toodles.